It is it is March 13th, 2026. We are in Lakeside, California with a very special person here and we are at the substation for the Lakeside Sheriff's Department in Lakeside, California. And we have a very special new lieutenant assigned to this district, and you are?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Lieutenant B.T. Doe. My last name is spelled D-O.
And can you, okay, we know that about every year, we call them our CEOs or our sheriff lieutenants, get moved around. And can you kind of tell us about your background? And we hope to have you at least a year. But what the sheriff needs is what happens, right? Getting people moved around. We understand that, the chain and all that kind of stuff. Tell us kind of about your background and how you got here. I mean, were you assigned? Did you request it? And then we'll go into some other things specific to Lakeside, sir.
Sure. Let me go a little bit way back, about 20 years ago when I started my law enforcement and public safety career. So I actually started with the Santa Clara County Sheriff's Office in about 2006. Was with them for about almost 4 years, and then in 2010, January 2010, I moved down here and started with the San Diego County Sheriff's Office. And with the Sheriff's Office, I've worked a ton of different positions, assignments, and that's the beauty with the Sheriff's Office. There's so many different avenues, so many different positions. You can work jails, courts, patrol, human resources bureau. But yeah, I came down here. I started off in the jails, worked there for about 2 months, and just kind of like lieutenants move around. Well, same thing as the deputies. Short staffing in the courts, so they moved all the newer folks over to our courts. Worked courts for almost a year before I came out to patrol. I started patrol North Coastal Station, did North Coastal for...
Oh, let me stop for a minute.
Go ahead, sorry.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I worked patrolled North Coastal and a ton of different other assignments there. Our cops unit, our crime suppression team. I moved on to other patrol stations. I've worked San Marcos. I've worked Valley Center. I've worked as a detective, mainly in our street narcotics and gang unit, our special investigations division. Done, again, a ton of different positions. When I promoted to sergeant, kind of the same thing, patrol, specialized investigations. Worked a little bit in our internal affairs before I promoted and moved on to the traffic coordinator position, where I oversaw all of the traffic services, our mission as it relates to traffic within our county. And then after about a year, I was given the opportunity to come out here to Lakeside. I actually requested to come patrol, and I actually requested to come to East County because I haven't worked East County. I really want to come out here. I've heard that very good things about East County. Everyone I know that's worked out here has said that East County, the people love law enforcement. They're very supportive, which these are things that I really like, because I really want to, one of my biggest goals is to have more of a partnership with the community, be more transparent, bring the community in so that they can be more engaging, so we can work together. I know stats. I know some people think that stats kind of dictate how law enforcement, how effective law enforcement is, but I think it's more of how the community portrays law enforcement. So I'm very big on that. If our stats are low but our community isn't happy, then I'm kind of failing as a leader out here in Lakeside Sub-Station. So that's one of my goals, my priorities, is to get the community engagement.
What do you think might be your greatest challenge? I mean, I'm sure that you've studied our community of Lakeside, and I already see you in the community and so forth, and you dive right into it. What do you think might be one of your biggest challenges as, you're the operating CEO of this station, right? And then you have all the patrol people and detectives and so forth. What do you think might be your biggest challenge, and how would you go about, working with that?
I think one of the biggest challenge is maybe educating the community. A lot of times laws change, a lot of deputy turnover. So the interacting with the community, letting them know that why we do certain things and how we do certain things, kind of giving them the why behind the sheriff's office, our mission, and what we try to do. A lot of times we have a lot of issues right now, like e-bikes and juveniles doing things that they shouldn't be doing. There's only so much that we can do. The laws haven't really caught up with a lot of like e-bike type of violations. So we're trying our best to do education of both the community and the kids. And I understand we can only ask for the community's patience for so long, but that's a big challenge, is just trying to give the why behind why we do certain things. And that's why I go to a lot of community events. I go to as many as that the people will have me to kind of explain that we definitely hear you, and we're always working to try to make this place a safer place. But sometimes we do ask for a little bit of patience while we work through the steps on solving any types of issues that the community brings.
And I'm sure the whole organization, the sheriff's office, has been briefed on this, but I'm wondering if you can speak to parts of, maybe you cannot because it's confidential, but in the last 2 weeks, yesterday there was a synagogue attack on the eastern seaboard. I think it was, or was it Michigan? And then there was a shooting in the ROTC, and they classified that as terrorist activity. And then there was a couple of people in New York City a couple of days ago with a improvised bomb, I guess you would call it, right? Fortunately, it didn't go off, and they were so. How, being that maybe what's happening in Iran and the U.S. and the military is affecting these homegrown, I guess you'd call them, I'm not sure what you call them, I figure anybody who does that to any building or any person is a terrorist. I don't care where they came from. Yes. But how, is there a practical ways that you can discuss of how you're alert to this and it can happen in our community? We have churches, we have playgrounds, we have schools, soft targets, right? Yes. Assemblies, rodeo, weddings, it's kind of scary.
Yes, it's very scary times. As long, I'm trying to understand your question. Are you trying to say, like, how are we going about?
Are you taking any extra measures because, has the sheriff's office from Sheriff Martinez, okay, has anything come down to take extra precautions because of the awareness of what's going on in the country, yeah, and could happen anywhere? That's my question.
Yeah, we're going through tough times. Everyone knows, everyone sees it, but we're always vigilant, and that message always comes down, is like, times like this, be more vigilant, be more alert when you're out and about, and also provide more presence. First thing I did when I got here, knowing what's going on, was told all my deputies that please do extra patrols, do foot patrols, be more present in the community, kind of fly the color, show everyone that you're around and you're available. The community expects us, to be available at all times, so let it be known that we're out there. We're constantly going out there, taking every single call seriously. We do have a lot of soft targets, lots of schools. We have a mosque here in Lakeside. We have religious events all the time at our parks. So yes, there's a lot of soft targets, and we go over that constantly. And that message gets pushed down all the way from the sheriff, constantly letting us know that, hey, we are at heightened threat everywhere. We're a military community here in all San Diego County, pretty much. So we, more so than probably most of California, Southern California, San Diego specifically, are a big target. And we're always just preaching, just be vigilant, but live your life. Don't live in fear, but know that, hey, if you see something weird, something that's out of the ordinary, say something. There's a lot of avenues for you to report suspicious activity, such as our LECC. You can report suspicious activity there, or you can call it in to our non-emergency number and report suspicious activity. We will definitely look into it, and we appreciate any tips or any calls related to suspicious activity. And rest assured that our deputies will look into all those suspicious calls, suspicious activities.
Thank you. And then on a personal side, you've done the gamut of all different types of divisions, right? And
Yes, sir.
detective and so forth. So I always ask, since you're a ranking member now, not a deputy just on the street. I mean, they're important, but I'm talking about a supervisory person. How do you get a call, you got a tragedy nearby, someone is killed, right? Like a homicide. And I know you got homicide detective specialists that do that too, but obviously you're going to go out on that today if that happens. How, all the things you see, being a person that spent 3.5 years as a deputy in a different state, I had to learn how to not take things home with me, but also the joys to take home with me, right?
Yes.
Which was always like a medical rescue, because we were so far out in that county, 950 square miles, that we were usually the first responders before the ambulance ever came, or the fire department. And so that was always a good event for me, helping that person, stabilizing them. However, we also had homicides and car wrecks and so forth. And how do you, and I'm not asking anything personal, but you told me about your family, but how do you go home after a horrific event? And then do you, men and women, process that when you all come back to the station? Can you kind of talk about that? How you deal with that? Because, we are humans. We're not always the badge. We are humans, right? And how do you take that home with you?
Yeah, so that's, horrific incidents like, child deaths, homicides, and all that stuff. That sticks with us. And that's one of the, perils of our profession, is seeing stuff like that. And yes, it's tough. Incidents like that, we normally have what's called a debrief, where we'll come back and we'll talk about it as a team, kind of check in with each other. I, as kind of a middle manager, I would ask my sergeants, please get with your team, ask questions, make sure they're okay. A lot of times, cops, we don't like to express our feelings a lot. So sometimes you gotta, get it out of them, and kind of really make sure that they're okay. We have a really good wellness unit. If we suspect that, a deputy may be going through, some issues after seeing a horrific scene, we will refer them to our wellness unit, or we'll call our wellness unit to have them call and check in, because they're kind of the experts here. They can more tactfully ask questions to make sure that, that they are okay. And if not, they'll bring us all in, bring command, bring the deputy in to kind of talk about some of the maybe the warning signs or the red flags that they may see that the deputy may not see. And we'll kind of dig into explaining that, hey, maybe it's time to just pump the brakes, talk to someone, talk to a professional. We actually have counselors, we have doctors that we can refer them to talk about it. We wear many hats, but sometimes supervisors, we may not be the best person to talk about certain issues, especially when it comes to like mental health or getting over certain scenes in your head, or certain horrific scenes that you just recently saw. So we do a lot of checking in with our employees. We do it constantly. The sheriff has, really invested in our wellness program. We have deputies and a sergeant that's assigned. That's all they do. That's the type of investment that our leadership has invested in our agency for our deputies. Because if our deputies aren't right, state of mind, then that could put the community at risk, because they may not be able to respond correctly. They may respond incorrectly because they're just not, their mind's not in it. So those are some ways that we go about checking in with our deputies.
Well, Lieutenant, I want to thank you so much for your time. I know it's valuable. And I want to welcome you again to Lakeside, and hope you stay as long as you possibly can. I think you're going to find, if you haven't already, that Lakeside is a welcoming community, and that we hope that you keep us safe. And we like to see you in the public, and I already see you all over the place, and that's really great. And again, thank you so much for your time.
I appreciate it.
Okay.